Hey guys, Dave and Len here. We just played. You got to pronounce it. I can't pronounce the damn thing.
Nijmegen.
Yeah, Paul Koenig's Market Garden Nijmegen Bridge from Victory Point Games. It plays like their other two games in the Market Garden series. It's all right. It's meant for beginners. It's not something that you're going to take seriously, but it's really easy to learn. So someone who's never played a war game before you should be able to teach them this pretty easily. You had some comments though about the game.
Okay, my major gripe was there's no advance after combat. Otherwise, I could have taken a bridge, and that's basic. Also, was that we have the chit system where you pick it in chit to see which regiment gets to move, and I was thinking, for a 20th century game, that doesn't work out well. If it was a 19th century game, I'd go for it.
Yeah, I don't get the chit pool with the wargaming. I get they're trying to do a random thing, but drawing stuff from cups and board gaming in general, not just wargaming, people generally don't like it, so I don't know why game designers keep doing this. Well, actually, I do know why. They're like, oh, well, then it's a random activation. Well, just have I go, you go. You know what I mean? This other random stuff. I mean, just adding randomness to a game doesn't make it better. Usually it makes it worse if you have too much. I mean, you need some randomness, but if you have too much randomness, it makes the game worse.
Yeah, because you notice both you and I kept our regiments together.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like it totally neutralizes any effect. And I was thinking, well, a simple game, if it was I go, you go, it'd be even simpler.
Yeah, exactly.
It has no effect. It's just adding a little more complication for no effect.
As far as the core rule set for this, the Market Garden rules, they're all right, but there's two issues with it. The first is there's often times in the game where you get an automatic hit on the enemy. You don't even have to roll. I mean, because basically you just have to roll the less than the difference between the two. So if you have 17 points and the other guy has like 8, that's a difference of 9. You're rolling a dice, so you automatically hit. So that's one thing. And then they have artillery and air support in this, and it doesn't have much of an effect on the game because there's so many instances where it's so easy to get an automatic hit on something. And we use the optional leadership rule. The leadership will allow you to re-roll a dice or reconstitute a unit and do a few other things. That was actually useful. That's an optional rule that's worth using.
Reconstitute is actually a little too powerful. To get back the unit at full strength, I mean, to get back like one step or remove a step from a damaged unit, that I could go for. But you get a full unit back, and that can turn the tide.
Yeah, and when you reconstitute a unit, it just comes back in on the road, and when you enter on the road on this map, since it's a small map, you're automatically going to be able to make it adjacent to an enemy unit if that's what you want to do. So, yeah. I mean, it's a really powerful thing, reconstituting a unit.
Yeah, because I didn't bother with any other advantages of leadership. Well, I was losing units early in the game, so I needed to do that. One thing I thought was good, even though it's frustrating, is you tend to get no more than one hit. A unit takes no more than one hit a turn. So you have to grind down the enemy.
Yeah. So each unit has 3 steps. So, I mean, it takes a minimum of 3 turns to destroy a unit no matter what. So the units have better staying power than in some war games.
Yeah, they have better staying power, which is both. Well, in this one, that's I think it's realistic. Here it was a tough fight, as opposed to Nijmegen.
Now, what do you think of the historical accuracy of this? I know that 101st Airborne game that we played, you were saying that the 101st came in the wrong direction or something. What about the historical accuracy on this?
This one I had no complaints.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because this one was more... actually... The 82nd had a situation which they had to cover a lot of area with not enough troops, because he landed in this one ridge line to cut off any German reinforcements, and then plus also I think he sent like a whole battalion or battalion or two against to capture Grave, which is not on the map. It's north of the map. One suggestion, if you're doing any Arnhem campaign game, is you make sure you take grab the first or second turn. Otherwise, his reinforcements can get there, and you'll end up with a situation where your army cannot advance because the Germans are fighting like hell in Grave. So get there fast. Of course, that depletes a number of 82nd units near Nijmegen Bridge. And then after they land and secure the ridge and stop any reinforcements coming in, they could then they advance in Nijmegen. By that time, they use up a lot of units are in defensive positions or taking casualties. I think the only complaint I had with this one is the training units seem to be more powerful. I mean, these are like Dutch units, just in basic training, but they give them like a rating of 5. You know, a rating of 3 I'd go for, but because these units didn't have the tactical support, the artillery, or the armored units. They hadn't been given this stuff yet because they're in the middle of their training. So that's the only complaint I got about this one.
Yeah, so overall I think this is pretty decent, especially if you're going to be playing with a beginner. If you're not a beginner, you could still have fun playing it a couple times.
I was about to say, I enjoyed this one. This was a tough one. But the situation was tough in real life. And this time around, Ryan O'Neal does not get an Oscar.
All right, that's all we got for this time, guys. Have a good evening.
Yeah.